Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Preimesberger, editor of eWEEK. Thanks for joining us today for this latest segment of eWEEK eSpeaks, our series of interviews with IT thought leaders. Today's interviewee is Rich McBee. He's the new CEO of Riverbed. And Rich, welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here today.
Yeah, Riverbed's a really interesting company, and we'll talk about it in a second. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and what led you to Riverbed?
Okay, well, I've been in the technology space for over 30 years. I've been at Riverbed now just over a year in October. I came from Mitel Communications, which is a communications and collaboration provider, both at a UCaaS and on-prem environment. Prior to that, I was with the company Danaher. Many people will probably know that, where I ran the communications and enterprise business unit, which had things like Fluke Networks, Arbor Networks, Visual Networks, Tektronix Communications. So, everything from physical tools right up to very sophisticated software. And before that, I was at Tektronix, so where we did oscilloscopes and spectrum analyzers and that kind of stuff. So I have a pretty varied technology background. What brought me to Riverbed is Riverbed is an icon name. Everybody knows Riverbed. I don't think everybody knows what Riverbed's doing today, but the fact of the matter is it's a great icon company who has great technology. And I think the match for me was, hey, I could take the technology, that set of core competencies, really put a strategy in place to take us kind of to the next level and into the future. And I think that, my experiences from the past, especially at Mitel, where I was there for, 8 years, transforming a pure on-premise based business and taking it to the cloud, where we had a $400 million cloud business when I left. So I understand the transformation that you have to have with big customers and, the difficulty in transforming companies from one form factor to the next. So I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah, good. Riverbed does a number of things. What are some of the basic things that it does? I know that it's you really do network performance monitoring and application performance monitoring and other things, but is that still your baseline business?
And what we're driving Riverbed to be is a leader in performance and visibility. We don't make networks. We make them run faster and better. And when they don't run well, we provide visibility into the networks or the operations or the flows of data to figure out what's going wrong. So when we think about Riverbed, it was born in WAN optimization, which was the performance side. We grew into visibility, and now what we're really focused on is performance and visibility. Underneath that, we have 4 pillars. So we have our WAN optimization business. Mm-hmm. We have our acceleration business. We have our network performance or visibility business. And we have an SD-WAN business that we OEM, but it really, for us, is about adding one of the other 3 pillars to an SD-WAN solution to provide a customer, a big customer, visibility, performance enhancement. And if you think about Riverbed, the customers that we really serve are, we have, 92% of the Fortune 500. We have 72% of the Fortune 2000. And we really, are focused really on the Fortune 5,000 and above. But, it gives us a very unusual perspective to be kind of an honest broker when you're focused on performance and you're focused on visibility. And you get to see this transformation all these companies are going through at this time.
Okay. Well, that's a mouthful. That's a lot. Yeah. But it's true that it is a versatile company with a lot of services. And without the network, we don't have anything. The networks have to work and work well. And we are so impatient waiting for things on the web, and whenever we're using connectivity. I read somewhere, and I think it's probably faster than this, but I think it was Microsoft that had the study, and the study said something like, if you're on your phone and you call up an application and it doesn't come up within 6 seconds, forget it. You just go on to the next one. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still the case. Maybe it's 3 seconds now. I don't know.
It's a lot shorter than that today, for sure.
I think it is.
Microsoft themselves have seen a massive growth. As we moved into this COVID-19 environment, if you look at their teams in their Office 365 environment, the adoption and use of those things have grown exponentially for them.
And is Microsoft one of your clients?
You bet. We have an accelerator, we have a SaaS accelerator and a client accelerator that's used to, if you think about these big applications, they're great applications, but they've got to traverse a complex network. Many companies have hybrid networks, so they've got part of it in the cloud, part of it in MPLS circuits, depending on where you are in the world. So, and that's why our footprint at large customers is so big, because we handle complex, very complex networks, and we can accelerate the applications, make them run a lot faster.
Yeah. The term that's going around lately is called observability.
Yeah.
And it comes into enterprise networks. What's your definition of that? And is that anything different is it anything materially different from what you're doing now?
Well, so the observability from our perspective, first of all, you have visibility. So you can see what's going on in a network. And observability is when you're not only seeing what's going on in the network, but you're starting to look to the proactive and the predictive responses to what's happening in the network over time. And you need AI and several capabilities like that to be able to handle these massive amounts of data. So you can see trending that's happening. And hopefully the goal of everybody is not to be reactive. And that's the first element of visibility. The second is to be proactive. And then the third is to be predictive. So what you ultimately want is to be able to fix a network, resolve a issue somewhere out there in the network. And the users never even know that you made some kind of modification to the network. It's just seamlessly, and they're getting in-office experience wherever they're working.
Okay. Does Riverbed have that preemptive?
We're right in there. Yeah, right there today. You bet. And we just introduced some new AI products and capabilities that we had a users conference. Actually, it was yesterday, and we were very, very excited about that. We had over 1,000 users participate in that conference. It was a virtual conference. What was neat about that is we had 25 partners participate in that. We did 15 classes on visibility, 10 classes on performance enhancement. We had customers from Microsoft, from BT, from all over, Orange Business System, so good global customers sharing with each other how they're using Riverbed products and solutions to solve the visibility acceleration problems. So it's a natural piece. I think every business is moving to the cloud over time. Riverbed is no different. We track our customers, got to be just kind of one step ahead. So in the old world, it was physical steelheads, and in the new world, it's virtual steelheads.
Yeah, but if customers still wanted to buy Riverbed and run it on a server in a private cloud, they could do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
so
there's options.
Yeah, so we have the full suite from pure hardware to pure software, and if you think about the big customers that we serve, they're going to have a hybrid group of that. Maybe at the headquarters they got a lot of hardware. But as they get out, further and further away from the mothership, the reality is they're going to have all sorts of different things in that network. The big thing today is, the branches have kind of gone away as everybody's working from home. Right. And so this is something that we saw a big growth in our business 2 times the last quarter sequentially. Actually, that's how fast that's growing. Where we have a client accelerator, which actually sits on the home device of the worker and gives them an in-office experience with speed with the applications that they're using. And that business is just on fire. A lot of customers, I think that was a lot of the big interest we saw in the users conference yesterday. We have customers as big as 300,000 seats using this capability.
Wow.
Yeah. So, this work from home environment is a big deal. And I think what's going to happen over time is I think what you're going to see is that, instantaneously we went from about 350 million remote or home workers instantly to 1 billion in 1 billion 2. Yeah, crazy. So, the first thing that CIOs had to worry about is, do I got everybody connected? Do I got everybody secure? And then they're focusing on the productivity. Right. And that's what we're seeing today. So that's where the acceleration and the visibility are very important tools for CIOs. But, I think what's going to happen, the workforce of the future and the office of the future is going to be, you're going to see the number of remote workers come down a little bit, but it's going to be increased by probably 50%, 30, 40, 50%. So we're probably going to have 600 plus permanent work from anywhere is what the term we use, but work from home employees. And what's going to happen there is many of them are going to be working in what I call kind of a hybrid environment. And we're no different at Riverbed. We're setting these up today where we would have had a branch in the future, and that branch is really becoming a collaboration center. So what you're going to see is like a marketing organization. They don't need to be in the office 5 days a week. They can work from anywhere, but they do need to collaborate. People still do need to physically meet. So they might have the collaboration center for Mondays. So Mondays, all the marketing team comes in, they do all their work, collaboration, they go work outside of the office for 4 days. The next day, hey, engineering team 1 has it from the first half of the day. Engineering team 2 has it the second half of the day. They'll come, they'll work, they'll plan, they'll discuss, then they'll go home and they'll work collaboratively. So what that's going to cause, it's just going to make it more complex for the CIOs to say, okay, now I've got to take care of a branch environment. I got to take care of a home environment. I've got to have some people in the branch, some people at the home, and they've got to have that in-office experience. And so people are really kind of redrawing how they're going to work in the future. And we're right in the middle of that.
Yeah, you sure are. A last question would be, if you're working from home, do you need to have an agent on your laptop or your desktop for this?
Yeah, it's pushed out through IT. Most people don't even know or see it. There's a lot of visibility of what's happening on the laptop. You can read that in the fine print that you agree when you log on. And the IT organization, it can be they can with our end user experience software package Eternity, which is a division of us. You can see how fast to render a display, what application usage. You can even see, what the cache, how much the cache is full. Is that causing degradation? And you can clear the cache. And the end user never even knew that you were doing that. So the productivity is really going to be key for people.
And then I assume it works. Riverbed works with any kind of a security setup that the client.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah.
So very good. Rich McBee, thank you very, very much for your overview. You gave us a fire hose of information. This is great stuff. No, really. And
well, I'm really excited about what's happening at Riverbed and also in the market. Change brings opportunity, and visibility and acceleration are going to be key to really helping companies work in this environment.
All right. You can't work with what you can't see and monitor. You have to be able to see it all. So that's great. Rich McBee, CEO of Riverbed, thank you very much for being with us today on eSpeaks.
Thank you.
And for everybody following along, thank you very much for joining us today, and have a great rest of your eWEEK. Thanks for joining us on eWEEK eSpeaks. Go to eWEEK.com to hear more conversations with IT thought leaders.